ever been told by, like, a parent or a teacher or a grandparent or something that you're special?
I mean, sure.
Well, I'm here to tell you that you're not, because the only special one is the sorcerer. Welcome to Traveler's Tips and Tales. I'm Mike.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Ben.
And we're here to talk to you about, you guessed it, sorcerers.
Very creative intro there, Mike.
Listen, man, this may or may not be the second time starting this recording. We don't know.
I feel like there was more to it last time. I can't remember, though.
There was.
It seems like... Alright.
There was, but we're not going to talk about it, alright? So, let's get into the key abilities that a sorcerer needs to be successful in D&D 5th edition, alright? The two key abilities are charisma and constitution. Do you know why?
Well...
I'm sure you'll tell us.
Yeah.
Well, you need the charisma because you got to be able to cast spells effectively, and that's your spell casting modifier.
You got to.
And you need the constitution because guess what, buddy? If you're playing a sorcerer, you got a D6 hit die. That means you're squishy.
Real
true.
Squishy.
You know that if you've ever played a wizard as well, because wizards also get a D6, and there's a reason they don't go up to the front line very often.
But it's even more important as a sorcerer because your face is pretty.
Well, no, that's Bard.
You can't mess up the money maker. You know?
Bruh,
Listen.
I had a sorcerer once who was a frontline fighter. I was playing in a game where magic was severely restricted by like just the world, and you had to take like special pills to be able to regain spell slots. And I played the Unearthed Arcana Stone Sorcerer, so I gained proficiency with weapons. And I was like, why not? I want to be difficult today. I did
Dude,
well.
I did the math on it. So, in the game currently that you run, Ben, that I have both a sorcerer and a druid, even though the druids have a higher hit die, the sorcerer has more hit points. And I did the math, and it's purely because of the constitution.
Alright.
Well, also, the sorcerer is a little bit of bard, right?
That's true. 3 levels of bard, yeah.
So you get a little extra oomph there.
Yeah, he's cheating.
However, I will say my sorcerer is much harder to hit than my druid. It's got a 4-point difference in the armor class.
Jeez.
It's pretty great because of the type of sorcerer that he is, which we'll get into in a little bit. But let's get into the unique features. Ben, what's our first unique feature that we got for sorcerers here?
Sorceress origin. It's I mean, it is, but it's not. So, important note for sorcery, you choose your subclass at level 1. That's technically the first real major thing you gain.
Let's go.
Yeah, but the first, like, really, really unique feature is a thing called Font of Magic. And Font of Magic allows you to gain sorcery points, which, because you're a sorcerer, everything you do will be based around your sorcery points, because you're a sorcerer. And what you can do with these sorcery points is gets better as you level up, but at second level when you first get them, you're able to turn them into additional spell slots, which already that's amazing, because you're a full caster, you already get a bunch of spell slots, and now you have even more of them.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and you can turn them into spell slots all the way up to 5th level, assuming you have enough sorcery points. And you can also turn spell slots into sorcery points later on for when you can, if you ever run out of sorcery points, heaven forbid, you just pay a couple spell slots, get a bunch of those back, and then go to town on some guy that had no idea you had this much power left because you're just a sorcerer and you're awesome.
And that's also using spell slots of no higher than 5th to turn into sorcery points, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, never mind. I'm wrong. I just read that fully. You can use any spell slot level. You just gain a number of sorcery points equal to the slot level.
Okay, but who's gonna ever pay more than a 5th level spell slot?
Insane people.
9th level spells are for noobs.
Shut up.
And I'll be rich with sorcery points. Twin spell, twin spell, twin spell.
Yes, so getting into Twin Spell, actually, that is a part of the next unique feature known as meta magic. And this is some of the stuff that Ben was talking about you could use your sorcery points for other than creating spell slots.
I don't know, man. It seems pretty meta.
You can modify some stuff. I see what you did there, man.
I think it's
you can basically protect your teammates or creatures in general from your spells. You can cast your spells at further distance. You can make your spell cost a bonus action instead of an action. You can cast your spell twice as long as it's a single target spell. There's a whole lot that you can do with it. You start off with just a couple, and you gain a couple more over time of leveling up. But you start off with 2, gain 1 at 10th, gain 1 at 17th, and you get this ability at third level, so it's pretty nice to be able to do some extra things.
Yeah. So, after 3rd level, the next thing you're going to be looking out for, next big thing for Sorcerer, is your 20th level ability. Everything in between is just ASIs, origin features, and more to, like, meta magic. That's pretty much it. But at level 20, you get Sorcerer's Restoration, and all it is that every time you take a short rest, from here on out, you gain 4 sorcery points. Good for you.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And, yeah, I mean...
Another one of those things where you get to recharge your expendable resources just a little bit faster.
Yeah. And Ben and Jake both mentioned Sorceress Origins, and that's kind of your subclass for sorcerers. That's going to be determining what kind of subclass you are and giving you pretty much all of your abilities as a sorcerer. So,
and by kind of his subclass, he means
it's your subclass.
It's exactly your subclass.
But you get it at first level, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. All these other nerds have to wait 2 more levels.
Well, not all of them. Some of them get it at 2nd level.
They're still nerds. They still get it late.
What?
They're just slightly less nerd.
All right. Ben, what is our first sorceress origin?
The best one.
In your opinion.
In logic and fact. That's what I based my argument on. It's called Divine Soul. You were blessed by the gods. Your very presence made the gods think, that guy, he needs some magic. And they gave it to you. They can't. It's not even like a cleric where they could take it away later. It's just like, you're magic now. Blessed. Hashtag blessed. So, biggest issue, in my opinion, with sorcerers is the limited amount of spells that they get and like the limited choices they get from those spells. A lot of their spells are damaging. There's not that many utility that they can take, and if they do, they're sacrificing a lot because they don't get that many spells to choose from. Mm-hmm. Well, with this, you get to choose not only sorcerer spells, but cleric spells.
Ooh.
Which already, that's one of the most expansive lists of spells you can find, aside from, like, wizard.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you have most of the wizard spells anyway, because you're a sorcerer. Also,
ones, yeah.
You get an extra spell, based on the alignment of the creature that gave you your power in the first place. What? More spells?
What are those spells? Ben?
Oh, well, if your creature that gave it to you was good, you get Cure Wounds. If they were evil, you get Inflict Wounds. If they're lawful, you get Bless. If they're chaotic, you get Bane. And if they're neutral, you get Protection from evil and good. And because you're a sorcerer, as you level up, you can switch out spells. You can switch those spells out too.
Oh.
You just get an extra spell to switch out.
Just screw you, guy who gave me power.
I don't want this spell.
Also, first level, you get quite possibly one of the greatest abilities of all time in D&D. Favored by the gods. Starting at first level, divine power guards your destiny. If you fail a saving throw or miss an attack roll, you can add 2d4 and add it to the total, possibly changing the outcome.
Neat.
This is after you failed.
Yeah.
After you've already messed up, and the DM's like, you're screwed, and you're just like, no, I'm not.
You're talking to the halfling rogue, my friend.
You know what that doesn't fix, though? Nat ones. That's why you just
feature,
be a halfling.
You can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. A short rest recharge on that ability.
Just be a halfling divine soul sorcerer.
Dude, yeah, no, you'll never lose. 6th level, you get empowered healing, because they know you're going to take healing spells. They know it. They know you're going to dual cast them. It's okay. They understand that. Because starting at 6th level, the divine energy coursing through you can empower healing spells. Whenever you or an ally within 5 feet of you rolls the dice to determine the number of hit points a spell restores, you can spend 1 sorcery point to re-roll any number of those dice.
Ooh.
And the only downside is you can only use it once per turn.
Oof.
But who's healing more than once per turn?
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
If you need to heal more than once per turn, A, how did you manage this? And B,
a paladin.
How did you manage this?
A paladin.
Bonus
action, lay on hands, action, cure wounds. Let's go.
But then they're only rolling dice for one of them. Still.
That's true, but still.
All right. Here's where at level 14 is where the alignment of your godly sugar daddy matters. Because starting
you can
at
twin
14th
spell.
level,
That's why you can twin spell a cure wounds.
Yeah.
You can, but at 14th level, you can use a bonus action to manifest a pair of spectral wings from your back. While the wings are present, you have a flying speed of 30 feet. The wings last until you're incapacitated, you die, or you dismiss them as a bonus action. They do not have a timeout feature.
Nice.
And the only thing that is different about them for each sorcerer is the alignment you chose determines how they look. Good or lawful, they look like eagle wings. Evil or chaotic, they look like bat wings. And if they're neutral, dragonfly wings.
Nice.
Which I think is just an interesting feature. It literally changes nothing except how they look.
Yep.
And most DMs will probably let you choose that on your own anyway.
Yep.
And then at level 18, you get Unearthly Recovery. At 18th level, you gain the ability to overcome grievous injuries. As a bonus action, when you have fewer than half your hit points remaining, you can regain a number of hit points equal to half your hit point maximum.
Nice.
Just instantly heal half your health. Once per long rest.
I mean, that's kind of expected with such a big ability. It's not going to be a short rest thing.
But a sorcerer who already has access to all the best healing spells in the game, and who can dual cast them, and who can enhance them, and who can do this and this and this and this and this, suddenly just heals for nothing. Half their health.
Once per long rest.
Once per long rest. But it's like get that spellcaster in the back, whack, whack. Ow, that must have hurt, but no, it didn't actually. It hurt. It didn't hurt at all.
Yeah, if you have to regain half your health more than once per long rest, you're not doing a good enough job of staying in the back.
Truth.
Also, it's kind of broken that it's a bonus action too. It's like,
yeah,
all right.
Pretty much. So yes, logically and factually, Divine Sorcerer is the best kind of sorcerer. You cannot change my mind, and I'm pretty sure once this airs, everyone will agree with me. I'll hold a poll.
It may be the best logistically, but
me and Mike still have our favorites.
yeah. Like this one, Draconic. So basically, somebody along your ancestor line either made a pact with a dragon or had a child with a dragon, made some sort of deal with a dragon.
You got some sort of dragon in you.
That got some magical powers from this dragon and infused it into your bloodline. So the first feature that you get is called Dragon Ancestor, and you choose one type of dragon as your ancestor. So could be a black dragon, blue dragon, copper dragon, gold dragon. Could be whatever type of dragon that you want. And the damage type associated with each dragon is used by features that you gain later. So like the black dragon has acid damage, the red dragon has fire damage. So that kind of stuff is going to affect your features later on in this subclass. You can speak, read, and write Draconic, and whenever you make a charisma check when interacting with dragons, your proficiency bonus is doubled if it applies to the check. So, if you need to intimidate a dragon, and you're proficient in intimidation, it's doubled.
Yeah.
Although, good luck intimidating a dragon.
The numbers say otherwise, my good friend.
And then you also get Draconic Resilience. As magic flows through your body, it causes physical traits of your dragon ancestors to emerge. At first level, your hit point maximum increases by 1 and increases by 1 again whenever you gain a level in this class. Additionally, parts of your skin are covered by a thin sheen of dragon-like scales. When you aren't wearing any armor, your AC equals 13 plus your dexterity modifier.
You got mage armor for free.
That is why my sorcerer has an 18 armor class. It's pretty great. It makes you a little bit harder to hit, at least when you're going up against low-level enemies. When you're going up against high-level enemies, they don't really care. But
I remember our first session with that party, and literally every character in that party was kind of tanky. This sorcerer that Michael's talking about is in the same party as Spade, my character that we talked about in the monk episode, and we were like so confident because we all rolled like really good stats, and we were like, I think like 18 was our lowest AC amongst the entire party, maybe it was 17, but like everyone had a like 17, 18, or 19 AC, and we like went to this dungeon. We were like, heck yeah, we're gonna rock this place, and then like almost everyone died in that one dungeon. Like we barely made it out, and we were like, whew.
yeah, little did we know we were going up against a pretty high CR for our party level at the time.
I mean, we were level
Demon
1s,
Minotaur.
We
We were level 1.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
And this is like our current BBEG, so
yeah, it was one of those campaigns where like
it was one of those fights where you as a player you want to stay and fight, but you know that you're just gonna die if you do, so you run.
You're supposed to run. One of those ones where the BBEG just comes around and smacks you around a little bit at the beginning, so all your characters can develop a hatred for them.
It was one of the few times that I think our group has ever actually made the decision to just run away.
We were just like, you know what? Maybe not.
I think it made you guys, like, as a party, run away from combat, like, 3 times in my entire time DMing. And one of them was to 2 level 20s, and that felt pretty good. Not gonna lie. Jake was there for all 3 of them. For the 2 level 20s, he was like, I'm not gonna lie, this seems bigger than us. And I was like, I got a level 20 character to say that?
Yeah. Wait, now I'm trying to think of the 3 exact moments.
So, I'm thinking all the chimeras running through the dungeon that never ends.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, making my level 20 character is not that hard. He runs from like everything.
The whole party booked it though.
Given
Yeah.
at the time of that was like level 14.
Yeah.
We were floating around 10 at that point in time. Because we were 12 when we went to the island.
Okay.
And then
But yeah.
you guys, as level 20, you like fought one of the minions and almost died to them, but won. And then like 3 more showed up. Or like 4 more showed up, and then a bigger thing showed up, and you guys were like,
Nah, we're out.
we out. Peace.
Oh, rest in
See
peace,
you
Shayna.
later, alligator. Yeah.
So back to Draconic Sorcerers. So at 6th level, you get an ability called Elemental Affinity. When you cast a spell that deals damage at the type associated with your Draconic ancestry, you can add your Charisma modifier to 1 damage roll of that spell. At the same time, you can spend 1 sorcery point to gain resistance to that damage type for an hour. I really enjoy not being able to take fire damage. At least not as much.
Fun fact, resistance in 5th edition also makes you immune to environmental conditions involving that particular element.
Truth.
So if you were to gain resistance to frost, you would be able to climb up a snowy mountain without making con saves, or
Let's
the
go.
same thing for like a volcano if you were fire resistant, or like, let's say there was a room filled with like acidic fog that corroded your lungs. If you had resistance to acid, you would take no con saves or anything.
Let's
Which
go.
is pretty good.
It's pretty great. That's why I love Goliaths, because they have that feature that makes them immune to all the like cold effects in environments, so they can
Yeah.
just climb mountains.
At 14th level, you get Dragon Wings. You gain the ability to sprout a pair of dragon wings from your back, gaining a flying speed equal to your current speed. You can create these wings as a bonus action on your turn. They last until you dismiss them as a bonus action on your turn, and you cannot manifest your wings while wearing armor unless the armor is made to accommodate them, and clothing not made to accommodate your wings might be destroyed when you manifest them.
Ruh-roh.
Hey, you can fly while you cast spells.
You know who else can do that? Divine sorcerers.
That's fine, but so can Draconic.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. So can my favorite sorcerer.
Sorcerers all just have a frickin' fly speed.
Not
The
all
very
of
best
them.
of them do.
Is that what defines a good sorcerer? It's just a fly speed.
Not
The top
all
3.
of them. Then at 18th level, you get an ability called Draconic Presence. You can channel the dread presence of your dragon ancestor, causing those around you to become awestruck or frightened. As an action, you can spend 5 sorcery points to draw on this power and exude an aura of awe or fear, whichever you choose, to a distance of 60 feet. For 1 minute or until you lose your concentration, as if you were casting a concentration spell, each hostile creature that starts its turn in this aura must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed if you choose awe, or frightened if you choose fear, until the aura ends. A creature that succeeds on this saving throw is immune to your aura for 24 hours. I'll admit, for an 18th level ability, it's kind of weak. Not a huge fan.
Yeah.
I can be a big man about it, I can admit it. But I still love Draconic Sorcerers.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that 1 hit point every level is like almost worth it. Like that alone is like, ooh, I am enticed.
That hit point plus that natural AC.
Yeah, I am enticed, my friend.
It's pretty good, man. It's
I'll admit
pretty
it is good. I'll admit it is good. And I've got another one here for you. And it might not be, logistically the best one because you get more spells to choose from, like Divine Soul. And you might not get to be a little less squishy like Draconic. But it still sounds really cool, and that's all I'm here for. And I'm talking about Storm Sorcerer, okay? So, starting at 1st level, when you take Storm Sorcerer, you get to speak Primordial, which makes sense. But also, speak, read, and write. So, you know Primordial, like, entirely. But also, you get an ability called Temptatious Magic. And starting at first level, you can use a bonus action on your turn to cause whirling gusts of elemental air to briefly surround you. Immediately before or after you cast a spell of first level or higher, doing so allows you to fly up to 10 feet without provoking opportunity attacks. Guys, we're flying at level 1. When did you guys start flying?
Listen, that's not important.
Albeit only 10 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
And only when you cast a spell, and it can't be a cantrip. But we're still flying. We're in the air, baby. We're moving.
Maybe that 10 feet is all you need to get over.
But also,
wall. You never know.
This stuff doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. Melee spells, here I come. Let's go. Starting at 6th level, you get an ability called Heart of the Storm. You gain resistance to lightning and thunder damage. Let's go. In addition, whenever you start casting a spell of first level or higher that deals lightning or thunder damage, stormy magic erupts from you. This eruption causes creatures of your choice that you can see within 10 feet of you take lightning or thunder damage. You can choose every time you activate this ability, so you can change it up as much as you want. Equal to half your sorcerer level. That's pretty awesome, honestly. Just like, especially if you're like really like going in with these like melee, like close range attacks. You know, you can really start cranking out damages in AoE style too, which is not necessarily a very common thing for sorcerers.
True.
Starting at 6th level, you also get this other ability. It's called Storm Guide. You gain the ability to subtly control the weather around you. If it is raining, you can use an action to cause the rain to stop falling in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on me, or you. You can end this effect as a bonus action. And if it is windy, you can use a bonus action each round to choose the direction that the wind blows in a 100-foot radius sphere centered on you. The wind blows in that direction until the end of your turn, until the end of your next turn, and this feature does not alter the speed of the wind. So if it's really coming at you, you can't slow it down. But you can make it, I don't know, like give you an L boost.
You can make it a little bit more beneficial for you.
Yeah. For sure. Which, I mean, like, kind of sounds like a weak ability, but you also get it in at the same time as the other ability, so I'm not mad.
Look, it would have helped you in that Strahd fight, is all I'm saying.
I know, that would have been crazy for the Strahd. Starting at 14th level, when you are hit by a melee attack, you can use your reaction... Oh, this is an ability called Storm's Fury, by the way. When you're hit by a melee attack, you can use your reaction to deal lightning damage to the attacker. The damage equals your sorcerer level, and the attacker must also make a strength saving throw against your sorcerer spell DC. On a failed save, the attacker is pushed in a straight line up to 20 feet away from you. That's kind of crazy if you ask me, because most things like push you back 10 feet, and most of the time that's not anything like crazy, but 20 feet is a lot farther, like if you think about it in combat, right? Because there's normally a lot of stuff in combat, and you know there could be a number of things. Like if you're on a ship, you could push them off the ship. If you're on a cliff, they could push them off the cliff. If there's maybe you're in a dungeon and there's traps around, you could push them into a trap. This is kind of crazy, and pushing 20 feet just ups the chances of, you know, them going over whatever thing to damage them even more, maybe. And you get to do lightning damage to them. So let's go. And now, you guys might be saying, Jake, you promised me flying, and you only gave me 10 feet. What the heck, dude? And also, it's only when you cast a spell.
That's not a cantrip.
Seems kind of weak. And I'll admit, you guys get your fly speeds at 14th level. But I get my fly speed at 18th level. And I think it's better than your guys's. Starting at 18th level, you get an ability called Wind Soul. First off, you gain immunity to lightning and thunder damage. So there you go. That stuff does not matter in the slightest to me. Also, you gain a magical fly speed of 60 feet. If I can't help but notice, but that's 30 feet farther than both of your guys' fly speeds.
Not necessarily.
As an action, though, you can reduce your fly speed up to 30 feet for 1 hour and choose a number of creatures within 30 feet of you equal to 3 plus your charisma modifier, which by now should be 5.
Or more.
Or more. The choosing creature The chosen creature gains a magical fly speed of 30 feet for 1 hour. Once you reduce your fly speed in this way, you can't do so for a short or long rest. What is better than a sorcerer flying around? I don't know.
Barbarian flying around.
A barbarian or a paladin or a rogue or a fighter or a wizard, or how about this? All of them. All at once. Let's go, boys. Roll up on these mofos.
I think we've all seen the damage a flying paladin can do.
Yeah,
I know, right? That's crazy, man.
Here's the thing, man. I'll give you credit for your Storm Sorcerer's flying ability, but I mean, if I'm gonna go with a flying ability, I'm still gonna go with Druid casting Windwalk.
I mean, yeah,
it is so quick.
It's not miles, literally miles and miles.
Potentially 545 miles in 8 hours.
Yeah. But, I mean, it is 60 feet, which is pretty good. You can pretty much keep at pace with a good number of things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And you can reduce it to 30, which still isn't bad, you know, and you can give it to, like, your whole frickin' party.
Unless you have a party of 12.
Yeah.
You just gotta pick the ones you like the most.
Yeah, you just gotta pick the paladin and, you know, the other ones, I guess. The other big damage boys. But yeah, that's Storm Sorcerer. I think it's pretty good. I don't know, like, you guys argue yours. I still think that Storm Sorcerer is pretty good. You also get immunity to 2 different damage types.
Look, man,
Like,
I'm not saying Storm Sorcerer is not good. As a matter of fact, I've made literally a demigod who has the Storm Sorcerer subclass, so I acknowledge that it's good.
yeah.
Literally the strongest sorcerer in my entire game is a Storm Sorcerer.
We all know him well.
Yo.
But yeah.
But the good news is you guys saw a different side of him not too long ago.
Yeah, we did.
Now,
That's
Jake, I know how much you love rogues.
I love rogues, truly.
This next sorceress origin might speak to you a little bit, all right? You're getting your font of magic from the Shadowfell, all right? And the first thing that you get is called Eyes of the Dark. You have dark vision with a range of 120 feet, and when you reach 3rd level in the class, you learn the Darkness spell, which does not count against your number of sorcerer spells known. In addition, you can cast it by spending 2 sorcery points or by expending a spell slot. If you cast it with sorcery points, you can see through the darkness created by the spell. That's pretty nice.
That is pretty nice. 120 feet is a lot.
And you can see through darkness.
More than the normal amount that people get from dark vision.
Yeah, most people get 60.
Yeah, and that's
Unless
with
you're
dim
a
light.
drow.
It looks like dim light.
Yeah, I will say, drow get 120.
But then again, they also get sunlight sensitivity, so...
It's a bit of a trade.
Yeah.
But
you
also
don't have
at
to
first
trade
level,
with this one.
yeah, also at first level, you get something called Strength of the Grave. Your existence in a twilight state between life and death makes you difficult to defeat. When damage reduces you to 0 hit points, you can make a charisma saving throw, DC of 5 plus the damage taken, and on a success, you instead drop to 1 hit point. You can't use this feature if you are reduced to 0 hit points by radiant or by a critical hit. After the saving throw succeeds, you cannot use this feature until you finish a long rest. It's a bit of a hard roll if you take a lot of damage. I'll give you that. But it's still good at low level.
I suppose.
For the squishiest class, like one of the two, it is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to be able to kind of stay up on occasion is good. So I can appreciate it. At 6th level, you get Hound of Ill Omen. You gain the ability to call forth a howling creature of darkness to harass your foes. As a bonus action, you can spend 3 sorcery points to magically summon a Hound of Ill Omen to target one creature you can see within 120 feet of you. The Hound uses the Direwolf statistics, which is in the Monsters Manual or Appendix C of the Player's Handbook, with the following changes. The Hound is medium instead of large, and it counts as a monstrosity instead of a beast. It appears with a number of temporary hit points equal to half of your sorcery level. It can move through other creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain, but takes 5 force damage if it ends its turn inside an object. And at the start of its turn, the Hound automatically knows its target's location. If the target was hidden, it is no longer hidden from the Hound. Hey, rogue over there in the corner that's hiding from me? Yeah, my Hound sees you, bud.
Hey, man. Leave me alone. Go
Yeah.
away.
The Hound appears in an unoccupied space of your choice within 30 feet of the target. Roll initiative for the Hound. On its turn, it can move only toward its target by the most direct route, and it can use its action only to attack its target. The Hound can make opportunity attacks, but only against its target. Additionally, while the Hound is within 5 feet of the target has disadvantage on saving throws against any spell you cast. The Hound disappears if it's reduced to 0 hit points, if its target is reduced to 0 hit points, or after 5 minutes. That's really good.
So screw that one guy, am I right?
Your Hound only lasts for 500 turns? Weak.
Here's the thing, though, right? So your Hound is within 5 feet. You don't want to damage your Hound, so what you do is you use Careful Spell as one of your meta magics, and it's safe from your spell while the other guy has disadvantage.
I guess, yeah. If it's like an AoE one.
Yeah. Which, why would you not cast an AoE if they have disadvantage on saving throws?
I mean, single target spells that still do saving throws.
Shut up.
Or like lightning bolt.
Alright. At 14th level, you get Shadow Walk. You gain the ability to step from one shadow into another. When you are in dim light or darkness, as a bonus action, you can magically teleport up to 120 feet to an unoccupied space you can see that is also in dim light or darkness.
Hey, you get Shadow Step, but not Shadow Step.
Yeah. It's pretty nice, man. You could just get right in someone's face if you wanted to, or like get way away from someone's face if you wanted to.
It's Shadow Step, but a lot farther and without advantage after you do it.
It's the spellcaster Shadow Step.
Yeah. Get me the heck out of here.
At 18th level, you get an ability called Umbral Form. You can spend 6 sorcery points as a bonus action to magically transform yourself into a shadowy form. In this form, you have resistance to all damage except Force and Radiant, and you can move through other creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain. You take 5 force damage if you end your turn inside an object. You remain in this form for 1 minute, and it ends early if you are incapacitated, if you die, or if you dismiss it as a bonus action. That's pretty cool to just be resistant to literally every damage besides Force and Radiant.
Let's go Paladins.
Imagine if you combine this with like multi-classing, if you're going like above 20th level with a... What?
I suppose.
With a totem barbarian.
That's true.
Just rage, and then you are resistant to literally every damage.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. I like that. I like it a lot.
I think I would probably multi-class it with Shadow Rogue.
Yeah, that would also be good.
Anyways, that's pretty nice. But you know what I always say about Dungeons and Dragons? I like to
roll the dice.
I like to not know what's gonna happen on my turn.
It don't think you've ever said that ever.
I have not. I'm a very careful player. I always plan things out, and this subclass is not my kind of subclass. I'll say that right now. We're talking about wild magic.
But the fact that it's not your kind of subclass makes it even better for you to use it.
Yeah. I remember one time we, actually last year for Christmas, we did, like Secret Santas, but with characters, where we all made each other characters in our friend group. And Dalton, who was on the show, was on the podcast before, made me a wild magic sorcerer with a wand of wonders. So it was like, I had like 2 different charts that I had to just like have at the ready for if I roll a certain number on any attack roll or like any spell. Anytime I cast a spell or like anything, it's like, what's gonna happen? I don't know.
It was so great.
It was ridiculous. But anyways, wild magic sorcerer. So starting at first level, when you take this subclass, your spellcasting can unleash surges of untamed magic. Immediately after you cast a sorcery spell of first level or higher, so not a cantrip, your DM can have you roll a d20. If you roll a 1, roll on the wild magic surge table to create a random magical effect. A magic surge can happen once per turn. If a wild magic effect is a spell, it's too wild to be affected by meta magic. If it normally requires concentration, it does not require concentration in this case, and the spell lasts for its full duration. Then it gives you a table of, I believe, 50 different things that can happen if you roll a 1. And some of them are kind of ridiculous, and some of them are helpful, and some of them are just bad. Like one of them, you just gain all your sorcery points back.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
There's some pretty good things that you can get out of it.
You cast Mirror Image, or you gain resistance to all damage for the next minute, or you regain 2d10 hit points. I'm just like literally looking at the table and like picking at random. An eye appears on your forehead for the next minute. All right. For the next minute, you can teleport up to 20 feet as a bonus action on each of your turns. A unicorn controlled by the DM appears in a space within 5 feet of you that disappears 1 minute later. Like, what? Okay. Cool.
Could be friendly, could not be friendly. Who knows?
Your hair falls out and grows back within the next 24 hours.
One of those, by the way, is a terrifying thing. There's like a really terrifying thing on that list that is doomed to anyone who rolls it at low level.
I know what it is.
It's probably doomed to their whole party, actually.
If you roll a 77 to a 78, you cast Polymorph on yourself, and if you fail the saving throw, you turn into a sheep for the spell's duration.
Yeah, sure, that's what I was going for.
Which is 1 hour! For the next hour, you have to be a sheep. Because it lasts the entire time, unless you kill yourself as a sheep. But then you're putting yourself in harm's way, and that's never a good idea for a sorcerer. But anyways, I digress. There's a lot of really weird stuff in there. You also get another ability starting at first level called Tides of Chaos. Starting at first level, you can manipulate the forces of chance and chaos to gain advantage on one attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. Once you do so, you must finish a long rest before you can use this feature again. Anytime before you regain the use of this feature, the DM can have you roll on the Wild Magic Surge table immediately after you cast a sorcerer spell of first level or higher. You then regain the use of this feature. So, ideally, you should use this all the freaking time, because I don't know a single DM that wouldn't make you roll on that table every single time because it's hilarious. And then you get advantage on a whole bunch of stuff all the time. Every time you cast a spell, you should just, like, advantage, just in case. And then, I mean, it goes hand in hand, because, like, you cast a first-level spell, you use it. And then, you roll on the table because your DM says roll on the table because it's funny. Then you turn into a plant or whatever. For the next couple of turns. But then, when you come back, you cast another spell with advantage. Anyways.
I'm just imagining like this super intense scene where, you know, this sorcerer is trying to fight off the BBEG. Two of their party mates have already gone down and are bleeding out, and the sorcerer's starting to get really angry, so they try to cast a spell, and then they turn into a sheep.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate that image.
I just realized one of them, if you roll a 1 or a 2 on a D100, you roll on this table at the start of each of your turns for the next minute, ignoring the result. So if you roll a 1 or a 2, you get 10 more rolls.
Yeah.
Because the next 10 turns, you just roll on it again, and then a new thing happens, and then a new thing happens. Anyway. Starting at 6th level, you get an ability called Bend Luck. You have the ability to twist fate using your wild magic. Whenever another creature you can see makes an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, you can use your reaction to spend 2 sorcery points and roll 1d4 and apply the number rolled as a bonus or penalty, your choice, to the creature's roll. You can do so after the creature rolls, but before any of the effects of the roll occur. So you can't know if it hits or doesn't, or if they pass or fail, whatever ability check they're doing. But you can make someone a little bit better or a little bit worse. Up to you. It's not bad. There's also like no limit to how many times you can do this ability, which is kind of interesting.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, it takes your reaction, so it's up to you. I mean, which isn't even that bad if you ask me. Like, if you're doing this in combat, I would be doing this like every turn probably, because like I'm a sorcerer. Well, I'm not taking opportunity attacks. What am I gonna do? Hit them with my stick?
Unless you have War Mage.
Well, yeah, but before then, what am I going to do? Hit him with my stick?
Why not, man? Sticks are deadly weapons.
I could do that. Or I can make the rogue hit. I'm going to choose to make the rogue hit. I'm not going to lie. At 14th level, you get an ability called Controlled Chaos. I doubt it, because it's wild magic. But anyways, you gain a modicum of control over the surges of your wild magic. Whenever you roll on the wild magic surge table, you can roll twice and use either number. Just to make it a little bit more spicy. A little bit more interesting.
It's controlled to an extent.
To an extent. You get to choose between 2 different ridiculous outcomes because you cast a spell. You're getting punished or, you know, like presented. Like, you know, you're either gifted or punished for casting a spell. That's it. Oh, did you cast a spell? Sheep.
Here's another thought that could happen, and this is a terrifying thought, okay? The party finds a magic item. They're like, hey, sorcerer, you know Identify, right? Sorcerer's like, yeah, I know Identify. I'll identify it for you guys. Everybody gathers around to find out what this item is. The sorcerer is identifying it. He rolls a 1 on his thing. He has to roll on the mild magic surge, and the party's like, oh boy, here comes the chaotic fun. And then you get cast fireball on your location, and then the whole party dies.
Yeah.
Starting at 18th level, you get Spell Bombardment. The harmful energy of your spells intensifies. When you roll damage for a spell and roll the highest number possible on any of the dice, choose one of the dice, roll it again, and add that roll to the damage. You can use this feature only once per turn. That's pretty crazy. So, like, if you roll something that does 4d10, and you roll a 10, you get to roll an extra d10. Because it doesn't say it replaces the old roll. It's just you roll it, and then you add that to the total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start casting Magic Missile. Like, auto hits. It's a d4, so it's really easy to roll max, and then you most likely get some extra damage in there. And, you know, you might turn into a sheep for the next minute. Who knows?
You're really on about these sheep, dude.
I just think that one's really funny. Because you can so easily fail that, I feel like. Because it's a wisdom saving throw, and you're a charisma caster. So it's like, it's feasible for you to, like, be terrible with wisdom, and then you're a sheep. Like, you can't even, no one is even there to stop concentrating on it. It just guaranteed for the next hour, or you die as a sheep. You're a sheep.
Here's the thing, though. To counter that, the fireball, that's why you take careful spell as a meta magic.
But no, because anything that happens from this table, cannot be affected by meta magic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
You can't do
Yeah,
it. It's,
no,
it's
at
too
level
crazy.
At level 1, you can just explode and take your whole party with you
What about
because
this?
you wanted to cast a spell.
What about this? The turn before you cast that fireball on yourself, you cast grease centered on yourself.
No, that's the spell that triggers fireball.
Your skin turns a vibrant shade of blue. A remove curse spell can end this effect. It doesn't say for how long. Your skin is now blue
That's rough, buddy.
until someone casts remove curse on you. But like non-metagaming, you don't know that you have to cast
Yeah.
a bunch of these other abilities just kind of wear off after a day or so. So you're probably just going to chill as a blue dude for a while. Guys, I might just play a wild magic sorcerer I'll do it for a one shot. just not care about it at all. I'll just go with it. Sure.
Do it, dude. Do it.
I'll ask my DM if I can choose to roll a 1 on the wild magic surge every time I cast a spell. Can I just automatically have a random effect from this table? Like, can I choose to have a random effect?
Yeah, I want it every time.
Roll a d10. Your height changes by a number of inches equal to the roll. If your roll is odd, you shrink. If the roll is even, you grow. Imagine a halfling. Who shrinks even lower.
Imagine a tall halfling.
Imagine a furbolg.
Imagine if over the course of you being a sorcerer, like over a campaign, you grew like 20 inches and you were already like a Goliath or something.
Yike.
You're just huge.
You grow a long beard made of feathers that remains until you sneeze, at which point the feathers explode out from your face.
That is one of my favorite ones on there. But I think we should probably move on.
Yeah, we've been talking about subclasses for 45 minutes. So the next little segment here, now that we're done with the sorceress origins, is the role playing of the different classes, and this class being sorcerer. Jake, how do you role play sorcerers?
So, for whatever reason from the start, I always pictured sorcerers as like the most Chad of the group, you know? Like, they're good, they're too good for anyone else, and they know it. And no one can convince them otherwise. So I say, if you're playing a sorcerer, there's only one rule. Is that your magic comes from within you, right? Which means that at the bottom line, you're better than everyone else. In every way possible. You should never forget that. And also, you can't let them forget it either. Because you're a Chad. That's pretty much it. Just be as posh as possible.
What about you, Ben? What's your idea of role playing a sorcerer?
So I think an important thing to keep in mind when it comes to sorcerers is anyone from any walk of life and any race can be born a sorcerer, and that's just it. You're born with it. There's not necessarily going to be someone there to help you learn about this or teach you how to control this magic that you were just born with. And a lot of people might not understand it. They might think of you as, you know, that crazy guy with magic for no reason, you know? Like, it's something that, as a character, you're going to have to adjust to and learn. I feel like you need to have that character learn to use this as part of themselves. That magic is part of you, whether you want it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Emphasis on whether you want it or not. I'm looking at you, wild magic sorcerers.
Yeah, for me, my whole idea, my ideology of role playing sorcerer, literally do what you want. You want to be a preppy prick? Do it. You want to be a vengeful jerk? Do it. Sorcery is basically whatever you want it to be. You have magic. Use it.
Yeah.
That's just how I've always seen it. I mean, I've had two sorcerers. One was more for a one-shot, and that sorcerer was kind of a second half of a brother-sister pair that me and Jake used. And she was more nice. She was more protective of her brother. And she really didn't try to stir up too many things or cause any problems. The sorcerer I currently play, that's about all he's done so far, is stir things up and cause a lot of problems.
Yup.
Which has provided for a lot of interesting story.
Interesting.
But yeah, why don't we go on over to the low-level magic corner with Ben?
Ah, yes, welcome to the low-level magic item corner. Today, today we're talking about 3 items I have not used for any other class.
What?
I know. First up, something that's very stylish. Most sorcerers will probably love this thing, alright? It's a circlet. It's a type of like headband, for those who don't know. Made of like, gold. It's gold. It's a gold thing you wear on your head. This particular circlet is called the Circlet of Blasting. So, what's the best part about being a sorcerer? Blowing stuff up. Well, with the Circlet of Blasting, you can use your action to cast the Scorching Ray spell with it. And it automatically has an attack bonus of 5. Once per dawn. It recharges it next dawn. But the best thing about this is, because you're a sorcerer, technically speaking, you can use meta magic on this, because you are the one casting it.
Nice.
Therefore, yeah. Scorching Ray for free.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, as a sorcerer who doesn't have a lot of spells to choose from, and, like, that's just, like, you don't... The way I see it is, like, you can choose not to take... you can choose not to take Scorching Ray, and then you got an extra spell learned, pretty much. You can only do it once per day, but, so what?
Yeah, pretty much. But
a little bit
you know
more...
what,
That's
though?
a little bit more flavor.
I understand your pain of only being able to use a spell once per day. I do. I understand that. So the next item will help you cast spells more. This item is called the Pearl of Power. It's a black pearl that you just kind of carry around your person, and if you speak your command word, you regain 1 expended spell slot.
Nice.
Let's go.
It can't regain more than a 3rd level spell slot, but if you already have all of your 3rd level or lower spell slots, you just get an extra 3rd level spell slot.
What? I can't
Yeah.
get 2 9th level spell slots? This is blasphemy!
But it also recharges at the next dawn. So, free
How
3rd level
dare
or
you,
lower spell.
uncommon item! Give me more 9th level spell slots! I'm just kidding. It's totally reasonable. Also, all of my favorite spells are 3rd level and below, so I don't even care.
Alright, well this next item is called the Wand of the War Mage. Specifically, the +1 variant, which is the uncommon variant. It goes all the way up to +3. And this one's pretty straightforward. You have to attune to it, which I think you have to attune to the Pearl as well. But
Yes.
while you're holding this wand, you gain a +1 bonus to spell attack rolls, and you ignore half cover when making a spell attack.
Nice.
Nice.
In other words, if you have all 3 of these things, you can Scorching Ray someone who's behind half cover without having to take any kind of penalty from it, and then as they're running away on fire, you can cast Fireball and then regain that spell slot for free.
Nice.
Or Lightning Bolt, or whatever.
Whatever floats your boat.
But yeah, these are my 3 items, uncommon magic items for a sorcerer.
Nice.
Not
I
bad, not
like
bad.
it.
Sorcerer is one of those classes that doesn't really need a lot of magic items. They just need more.
Yeah,
magic.
because they're already better than everything else. So why would they need anything to help them?
Hold on, Jacob saying sorcerer is better than everything else? What's wrong?
Sorry, it was the sorcerer in me. Sorry, I'll go back to Rogue. I'll go back to Rogue.
It was the wild magic sorcerer within you. It's too unpredictable now.
Guys,
I think
I don't know what's happening to me.
I think if you're gonna play a wild magic sorcerer, I have to play an anti-mage just to protect myself.
No, then you'll deflect it back to me. How dare you?
Or you could cast Fireball centered on yourself, and I could deflect it towards someone completely different.
That's true, I guess.
I could save you. You're just like, oh crap, and I'll just whack your hands real hard, and you're like, ow, and the fireball goes flying and explodes in a nearby house, you know?
But more importantly, you'd be saving the rest of the party.
Except for that guy 30 feet away.
Not
Well, no,
important.
I can only hit it 30 feet, so that guy 10 feet from us, that's like on the edge of the party, he's just getting hit by a fireball. There's nothing I can do, I'm sorry.
Alright, but now I'm going to explain to you guys a little bit about my own sorcerer, who is a draconic sorcerer, named Ignomaeus, but all of his friends call him Iggy.
Iggy!
Because
Friends.
Iggy is
Friends.
easier than Ignomaeus for most people.
Listeners can't tell, but I'm doing air quotes around friends.
I'm
Liz.
Iggy's friend.
The DM is always
you
Iggy's
are,
friend. But
You
Iggy-
love Iggy. He's such
Iggy
good for
is
plot.
he is an Eladrin who at birth he was raised for about 2 or 3 years by his biological parents, and then they decided that he was just too much. They couldn't handle him anymore. So they pawned him off on a foster family of dark elves. And these dark elves raised him basically to just hate everybody and go against the flow of everything. Iggy ended up not liking that when he was older, so he left, became an adventurer. He ended up stumbling upon this ragtag group of people that all came together and ended up forming a party with Spade, Ace, and Selfie. And throughout this time, which wasn't long, he married Selfie.
Literally,
then-
like second or third session.
And then, like, session 4, we ran into the BBEG of this campaign for the second time, still fully unprepared to fight him. And he basically told us that if we ever see each other again, like the party, then we will all be hunted down and killed by him. So we all kind of split up. Iggy went off to be a mercenary and do his own thing with a group of other mages that were all kind of outcast by society for having more evil viewpoints.
Dude, shout out
As-
to us murdering all of them.
You guys
You,
actually only killed one of them.
yeah, you
I thought
you
we
did
killed
not
one.
murder all of them. There was a total of 6 of us, and 5 of us are still alive as far as I know. And basically, 3 years went by with Iggy being in this group of people and leading them on different missions that we were hired to do, mostly of evil nature, being kind of spies for whoever hired us, and we would infiltrate organizations and kind of tear them down from the inside or gather information to hand off to whoever requested us to do so. And after a little bit of time, the party got back together and was able to kind of sidestep being spied upon by the BBEG by getting these special necklaces. And we were all back together again. By the end of the second session of us being back together, Iggy had gotten part of a Philosopher's Stone and
Very
left.
powerful item in Ben's world.
Yeah, he got a little bit of a impure. It was impure, so it wasn't fully a fully realized Philosopher's Stone, but it was still powerful. And Iggy decided that this power was what he needed to take down the demon minotaur that has been tormenting his party. And he went off on his own to try and find a way to get a pure Philosopher's Stone and become more powerful to be able to fully take on this minotaur.
Like an idiot.
And ended up going on a murderous rampage, killing lots of people, killed his foster parents because he did not like them, and then ended up getting just picked up by a bunch of drow at some point. And he was captured and taken to the drow city, and after, you know, a little while being down there, he was rescued again by his old party, and he is currently trying to redeem himself to them.
Perhaps I can fill in the blanks a little, because a lot of this happened.
A lot of this happened without me playing him.
Yeah, while I was kind of in control. So, when you left, the stone had some essence of the demon that created it, so that's why you kind of went off the deep end. I just never told you that.
Ah.
But I'll tell you now.
Good to know.
So, when you were investigating, you found a link when you killed your parents that led you down to the drow capital of Mesoberanzan. Because the drow in that area were connected with that demon, and you were like, why? So when you did make it down there, you ended up getting captured because they knew you were coming already, and then they stole your Philosopher's Stone, and then basically tortured you for fun and for information for a very long time.
Yeah, I almost got murdered, and then a very nice drow by the name of Rictavio saved me.
Or Richthofen, or Richter, or you know, whatever you want to call him.
What a homie. Love that guy.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's...
Not only did he save you, but he blew up the Philosopher's Stone.
That's true.
At least the fake one, the false one.
Yeah.
He threw a magic dagger through it, and it exploded.
We also, brought down that city as we were leaving it.
Yeah.
You guys destroyed the crap out of that city.
Place was going down.
They're going to be rebuilding for centuries.
Yeah, it didn't help that we had Dragonlamp with us.
True.
Yeah.
But that about wraps up Sorcerers. So, if you like what you heard, you know, check out some of the stuff for yourself. Do some research, you know. See if Sorcerer is the right class for you. If you want to play a Sorcerer, I definitely encourage it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I could support that.
Sorcerer is a lot of fun. Especially Divine Soul, because then you can dual cast Guiding Bolt.
And you want to make your entire party fly? I've got the subclass for you. You want your entire party to fly and you eventually get immunity to 2 different damage types? I've got the subclass for you.
And mind you, these are just the subclasses from Xanathar's Guide to Everything and the Player's Handbook. So, you know, check out Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, which just came out at the time of us recording this, and has a few cool things in there that is definitely worth looking at.
Real cash money.
But we'll be going into more detail on that on our YouTube channel, hopefully pretty soon here.
Our YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Traveler's Tips and Tales on YouTube?
I am.
And you could also find cool memes that we make and other updates about anything that we're doing on our Instagram, which is called Traveler's Tips and Tales.
Yeah, I heard there are memes that are created by our very own Traveler Jake.
Yeah, that's crazy. And also how we technically have a Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr page.
I posted to Facebook today, actually, at the time of recording this.
Wow, that's like a first.
It's a fifth.
That Facebook is at Travelers Tips and Tales, and our Twitter is at Tips Tales, and our Tumblr is Travelers Tips and Tales.
But,
wow.
hey, don't forget, to check out our Patreon for regular homebrew updates if you are of the tier that gets them. I will be posting homebrew every Friday from now on.
Yeah. As this came out, as of today, last Friday, a couple homebrew things went up, and then next Friday, a couple things are about to go up in 2 days, and from there on out, hopefully. So check out our Patreon, and maybe, help support us, and also get cool homebrew things and other things as well, based on what tier you give.
To
Also,
do the
it
things.
is much appreciated. And we appreciate all of our patrons, including Ben's mother.
Yeah, Ben's
Who is,
mom.
without a doubt, our best supporter. Not gonna lie.
Let's go. This is much appreciated. Thank you very much, Ben's mom. Also, you can email us any questions that you have about our podcast or D&D in general, and we'd love to answer them. And you can email us at travelerstipsandtales@gmail.com. We also have a website where we post a couple of homebrew things and a little bit about us and whatnot. And you can go check that out at travelerstipsandtales.com.
Yeah, and the homebrew that's posted on our website, it's kind of irregular posting. We don't have like set days or anything that we're planning on posting. It's just going to be 1 or 2 posts every month. And it's just to kind of give you guys a taste of the kinds of things that you can expect if you were to support our Patreon. These are things that, as of right now, are made by Ben. I'm planning on hopefully making a couple of things to go up there at some point.
And I'm Traveler Jake.
But yeah, we're working on getting some new stuff out to you guys, and we don't want you to feel like you have to go to Patreon to get some homebrew stuff.
Yeah.
But if you go to Patreon, you get a lot more. So it's definitely worth it. So I definitely recommend it. But check out our website, see what's on there. It's different from the stuff on Patreon.
Also, when you're a patron, you also get other things like access to our Discord and
Talking to us.
talking to us and getting the episodes early. So,
Yeah. So we hope that you have enjoyed this episode, and we hope that we get to please your ears with our incessant talking next week as well.
Till then, we hope you think of us on game day. Have a great day.